According to the latest figure, South Africa lost 615,000 tourists locally and throughout the continent, as well as international visitors. That number alone tells you that there needs to be some bold leadership in this particular sector. Now, the tourism sector is worried about a lack of clarity on the part of government in terms of plans for tourism. President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his State of the Nation address last week, announced the launch of a tourism equity fund this year to stimulate transformation in tourism. Joining me now in studio to talk more about this is Judy Nwokedi, CEO of Tourvest. It's good to have you, Judy.
Good afternoon.
I mean, that number alone is a cause for concern. 615,000 visitors to South Africa, both international and African. If things went according to plan, and if you're looking at what other emerging sectors are doing, especially in Africa, we should have got 400,000 visitors. We did not get that. What is the bottleneck? What is going on?
Well, firstly, your numbers I would question slightly. Because domestic tourism is up. We got 5.5 million tourists last year. In the MySpace, which is meetings, incentives, conferences and events, it was slightly down. Globally, 2018 on 2019, we did see a decline in international arrivals. But as we sit today, at the end of 2019, we had 14.8 million tourists. And we have plans to double that by 2030, as very eloquently and clearly elucidated in the President's SONA address last year. Of course, we are concerned around any decline or decrease in numbers, and we are fully aware of the factors that contributed to those declines. It was the continuation of the effects of the drought, the continuation of the effects of the visa regime, and we have fixed all of that. So we had predicted increases in overall numbers. But let's also be very clear, and to the viewers, that all is not doom and gloom in South Africa. We have everything that it takes to turn this country around. And in SONA this year, the President went back to the right set of basics and the fundamentals, with a population of 58.8 million, with an unemployment rate of 29%. But the most disconcerting and worrying figure in the unemployment rate is the 20-odd million young South Africans between the age group of 15 to 34 are unemployed. And he draw that attention in SONA. And so for tourism to work and to continue to shoot the lights out, then we need to fix unemployment rates, because it is unemployment that leads to poverty, that leads to crime, and this is becoming the single biggest deterrent to travel in South Africa, the risk of safety and security.
I'm just concerned that you've got different numbers because according to the tourism specialist unit at BDO, Leanne Ann, she is quoting 615,000 overseas and African tourists last year alone that chose to go elsewhere and didn't choose South Africa. If you yourself as an industry are not clear on your numbers, how is government supposed to assist and know how to help you?
The numbers from Stats SA and SA Tourism is very clear. There was a slight decrease. But when you look at the trajectory year on year, that every tourist that we don't attract, I would agree, is a tourist lost to another market. And we can't afford to lose tourists. So I was just unpacking and deconstructing and disaggregating where the numbers have gone.
It's a four-line statement that the President made around what he sees as the support that he's going to give to the tourism industry, saying to support growth of the tourism sector, the South African Police Service will increase visibility, especially at tourist sites. And he talks about the training of tourism safety monitors. Is that adequate enough?
Well, it's all going in the right direction. Let's face it, that in one single address to the nation, you can't address everything. And some of the critics have said he's been too light on too many things, and you try and, cover every aspect. What is key for us in tourism, as I mentioned, is the fact that we've got to get jobs going. And the President was very clear around that. And that statement within itself is a direct dividend to us in the tourism industry. Now we know globally that 1 in 10 jobs across the world is in the tourism sector. The President has been clear with a single message, every address he makes, that tourism is the new gold in South Africa, and tourism is a sector that can yield exponential growth both to the economy and to making a dent in unemployment figures. So yes, of course, we would have liked the entire speech to be on tourism, but we need to be practical about this. We are also very good at only looking at the half-empty glass. So I'd like to say that overall, what we need to do as a country, that we have the vision. The vision is very clearly articulated. That vision needs to lead to victory for all of us as South Africans. We have too many plans. We all know. Every time there is something wrong, we have a plan, we have a commission, and we are saying, like South Korea, I want to use the example of South Korea. You do your politics and you do your ideology at night, and then you run the country during the day. So these plans now have to be executed against, implemented, so that the plan can turn to progress and prosperity. The inertia, and I love this word, forgive me for using it, the inui that we experience everywhere, this just the doom and gloom narrative of South Africa needs to change to one of inspiration, because it is the despair that's leading to higher levels of depression and leading us to a country where we're experiencing paralysis. We have three incredible products that we can market globally. The success story of Sia and his team, where they worked together, where they were united, where there was a single mission and a single vision that that can lead to victory. So you know, 1 minute we're celebrating in Glover, 1 minute we're celebrating back to natural hair and our wonderful, wonderful Zizi, and we're celebrating our Springboks. Look at the cricket on the weekend. Phenomenal success. People want to come to South Africa, but we need to curate our narrative to begin to attract. And what is very important...
How well do events, for example, like the tennis that we just saw now that brought some...
Was that not incredible?
Yeah, how does that help in terms of improving the reputation of the country?
It absolutely does, because what we know, that global tourism is on the rise. Over 1 billion people are traveling. The projections are that that will grow even more. So what you have to do as you compete as a destination is to make yourself attractive. Now, there are 3 things that tourists are looking for globally. They want local interactions. They want nature. They want connections. And they want products that contribute to social impact. And the tennis is one such product, where it was a fundraiser. You took someone with a South African history, he came here, he said, I'm going to raise money for education, and the bums were on the seats. I believe that concert was sold out.
Yeah, 51,000 people filling up this.
The sevens get sold out overnight. So we have to develop these products where people want to come to South Africa. You know, if we visit each other and we welcome others, then ours is to shoot the lights out. We need to stop scoring own goals. One of the most successful products globally is paddling with the penguins. Have you paddled with the penguins as a South African?
Yes, I have.
Wonderful. I'm so pleased to hear that.
Certainly. But I mean, the question then of how do we coordinate all these departments, right? We've got some structural issues that we're dealing with in as far as electricity is concerned, talking about South African Airways, but also, of course, safety and security issues, but also economic development. All these groups, all these sectors, when do they get time to sit together and actually outline what they need to talk about?
But I'm not in government, so why are you asking me?
But are you not pushing for that?
Of course, we're pushing for greater institutional alignment, and where the machinery in government actually converges to a common point. I mean, you have editors' meetings, you have production meetings, you set the tone. Every business does that. So the President has instituted monthly meetings. Once a month he meets with the business sector. I think what is critical is that people are held accountable.
Absolutely. We're out of time. I appreciate you for coming. Thanks, Judy, CEO of Tourvest.
No, COO.
COO of Tourvest on that tourism sector and visibility of the country, and a positive message that we need to send to the rest of the globe for people to make South Africa a destination of choice.